Hey everyone. Okay, so I can't lie. This chapter is an intriguing case of the phrase "Be careful what you wish for," because if you all remember, way back during the Prince Lendard arc, when we got the reveal of Prince Kira's true identity of Dead End Crow and whatnot, I talked about how the reveal itself felt forced. It felt a little out of place, out of nowhere kind of thing, and that in itself we never really got time to really know who Kira was as a character. But I'm not gonna lie, after reading this chapter, I'm kind of regretting that. I'm kind of regretting those words, and because here's the thing about this chapter for me. As far as the fight goes, I really like the fight. I will say I really like the fight between between Jin and Crow. I wish it had gone on for a little longer, mind you, but I like how the fight overall did play out. With that said, however, within this chapter, we pretty much also got the reveal of Kira's past, his motivations, all that kind of thing, of just wanting to be this big hero, be the one in the spotlight, be the hero of justice, as it were, as he called himself or whatnot, be the hero of light, and I'm not gonna lie, just from knowing the details of what his motivations are, it kind of makes him even more pathetic than back when we didn't know what his motivations were. It's like he's actually more threat. The mystique of his character. It's one of those. This is one of those chapters that makes me realize that the mystique of his chapter is what made him more threatening than actually getting to know his motivations in this chapter. Like getting to know his motivations in this chapter made him a fucking as Jin rightfully puts it. It makes him a fucking pathetic piece of a pathetic piece of garbage. Like it does. Like it's like I'm thoroughly regretting like if this is what Mashima had planned to do with his character and just and what his backstory was, I'd be like, okay, you know what, I'm perfectly fine without knowing his backstory now. Like it truly is kind of one of those things where I am regretting wanting to know his backstory, and maybe it was better if it was left if we were left in the dark and just had the mystery of it. Like, yeah, this again. I want to reiterate. As far as the fight itself goes within this chapter between Jin and Cure, I really did like the fight, I will be honest. I really did like the idea that. I really did like the idea that in order to defeat him, you had to attack his core, and and the core of and Crow's core ended up being the exact same place where the exact same core as what as a core as Dead and Cure's core. Like it kind of makes, as weird as the flaw as that is, it does make sense that Cure would kind of almost, it does it, while a little stupid in some ways, it does make sense, weirdly enough, that Crow would place that Cure would place the same weakness onto onto Crow that as his own weakness, like that the core, that where his core is placed, he would place it onto the Crow as well. Like I think it's one of, so yeah, in that regard, I do like how the fight itself was resolved. It's just, yeah, everything else is like, yeah, I really wish I had known what Crow what Cure's motivation was. Honestly, I really didn't. Like, goddamn. Uh, but okay. Um, and but with that said, I guess the other thing we need to with that said, the other thing we do need to talk about is, of course, the whole fight between like Ziggy and one, and the progress we see there. Because I will admit I had completely forgot I will admit I had completely forgotten that, yeah, he's that one still has Cat Leaper, the ability of time travel. So yeah, I even knowing that he was like punched through, that Ziggy punched through his stomach. Yeah, I really should have known that wouldn't have been the end. That there would still be there would still be more to that fight, considering the power. But now with that said, with Ziggy basically saying Ziggy saying the whole thing of like, I'm going this is one lesson I'm going to have to teach you as your father, which is about the meaning of power. And I'm like, it is one of those things where it's like, okay, you're gonna teach him the meaning of power. You're gonna unleash some massive fucking attack. But what's that gonna do? Like, how can you guarantee it's gonna defeat him then, Ziggy? Because as he plainly demonstrated, he can heal through injury. So whatever attack you got going on, Ziggy, it's got to be something that is going to be able to that he can't heal from, that he can't turn back time from. So it's one of those intriguing things where it's like I don't know what to like. Whatever you got in your arsenal there, Ziggy, it's got to be something that one cannot cure, that cannot cure himself of or turn back the clock on. Like it's got to be some kind of power that he can stop. Which, knowing that Ziggy is basically Shiki, like, yeah, it is one of those things where it's like, there has to be something there. Like, it can't just, like, no, like, knowing that Ziggy, knowing the personal connection between Ziggy and one, it's like, it would make sense that he knows. It's like, just what exactly is the answer here? What exactly is Ziggy talking about when he says he's gonna have to teach him the meaning of power? Like, it's got to be some big attack that he just can't cure from. Um, but and okay, aside from that, not really much else to talk about. Although I do gotta admit, when we get around to to Jin's speech about how about comparing Kira to all the other villains that they've faced and all the other people that they've faced, like of course Drac and Joe, like pretty much like Kurenai, like Kurenai, like all of them. Like, I like I do I like how we see him recognize that yes, they were evil people, but they weren't, and they're, he don't know if there were people he would consider friends, but they're and but there are people whose motivations that they could at least somewhat understand, and like these are people who, and I do like the idea he presents that for as much as these are people that they opposed in their own timeline, in their own world, at the same time these are people who they came to at least understand over time. And I do admit, for as much as I still am a little bit, my feelings are still a little bit wonky on how they approached a lot of the resolutions of these characters in Universe Zero. I do admit the way he kind of presents, the way Jin presents his argument here does kind of make it a little bit more digestible as to what the approach that Majima went with here. Honestly, it does make it a little bit more digestible in that regard. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. If like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Analyst Crunchyroll. Be sure to notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight of Vinay, signing off. Later, everyone.